Hey everyone, and welcome back to HGTV Handmade. I'm Meg, and I like to keep you on your toes and switch things up every once in a while. So last week, I invited you to join me on a $10 hardware store challenge where we picked up a few items at our local hardware store, combined them with some of our craft supplies, and came up with a new DIY. It was fun, and what is happening? Okay. We'll need our hardware store finds, like our little nightlight, sponges, and lid. I already had some glue and paint. First, add a base coat of white paint onto your lid using a paint sponge. Allow to dry, then add a second coat. Once both coats are dry, add a little bit of black paint to your white paint and mix until you have a nice shade of gray. Take your sponge and cut it so it's small enough to fit inside the lid. Dip your sponge into the gray paint and scrape off any excess. Gently stamp the white with the gray to create a texture that mimics the face of the moon. You can leave it with one shade of gray or add a second darker one for more depth. Stamp in the corners and rim of the lid for total coverage. Allow your paint to dry completely. Take your light, and if it's like mine, it will have a shield of protective glass. This is the perfect place to attach your lid. Add a generous amount of craft glue to the nightlight glass. Attach the lid to the glass and hold together for several seconds. Allow your glue to dry in a well-ventilated space. And voila! For under $10, you created a moon nightlight. This project is actually really hard to photograph and it doesn't read as well on camera. But in person, the paint technique really does look like the moon, and I'm loving it. Sometimes a little challenge is good for the soul. I hope you enjoyed this change of pace, but if not, no worries, we're right back to just our regular scheduled DIYs this week and next, and from here on out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie.